Hello, Justin Williams speaking, and today for our next Goosebumps TV and book comparison, I'm talking about R.L. Stine's most famous werewolf story he has ever written, and and it and in this is called The Werewolf of Fever Swamp. Now, this is one of the prime time special episodes of Goosebumps. Oh, basically opened and closed off by the writer of the books himself, R.L. Stine. Without further ado, let's dive into the story. First, there's a boy named Grady, whose family just moved into Fever Swamp, a place where people can get lost due to the swamp's effects that feel like a fever, which as a result, people get confused and get lost in the swamp. And as Grady was checking around the surrounding swamp, he meets another boy who is a neighbor of the swamp named Will, who seems to know a lot about the swamps. And then there's an old swamp hermit that lives around the swamp who seems odd, very cranky. And he's been told that he often howls at the full moon, like a werewolf does, which roused superstition that he may be a werewolf. But then Grady's got attacked by a dog, but it turns out to be just an ordinary dog who just looks like a wolf. So Grady decides to keep it as a pet. But then weird things start to happen. Animal carcasses as here and there, because Grady works to raise deer. The deer were all slaughtered, and Grady's dog was blamed for it. But he doesn't believe it because a dog wouldn't be that savage enough on its own. But then Grady tries to prove that. Then Grady and Will try to prove that the dog is innocent, and to find out what really killed those animals when he got caught by the hermit, who believes he is the werewolf. And Grady managed to escape, only discovered the real werewolf of Fever Swamp. And the hermit was able to hold him off long enough. But then Grady discovered that the werewolf of Fever Swamp turns out to be Will the whole time. He just couldn't help himself. But Grady's dog came to the rescue. No, and gave him such a beating, he was gone. But unfortunately for Grady, he was bitten by a werewolf. So in the end, he is now the real werewolf of Fever Swamp instead. And every night of the full moon, he now rules the swamp with the dog by his side. And together they'll hunt whatever prey is available. And that's the story. And now for the differences. The main event of this video. Number 1, Grady's dog name is different depending on what you're hearing or reading from. The dog's name was Vandal in the show, but in the book he was simply called Wolf, just because he looks like a wolf. In the next difference, the swamp hermit had a much more deeper purpose than simply killing the werewolf. Because as the werewolf, killed the hermit's family. So he becomes a Captain Ahab figure who just wants to kill the werewolf as revenge. In the book, the hermit survived the attack of the werewolf, but in the show, he sent it to be killed, ripped to shreds. And that's the difference. In the show, Grady believed in the werewolf stories, while his sister Cassie was the one who believed it. By the way, they both get a scare of a lifetime. And last but not least, Grady and Will are both sympathetic. And of course, how Grady managed to figure it out, Will's true identity was different. In the book, it's from some of the tattered clothes he had on. But in the show, it was revealed when a lunar eclipse happened, showing the werewolf's true identity. And Will even tried to warn him to stay away from him. But the werewolf's defeat depends on the material. In the book, Will simply was chased off, never to be seen again. In the book, he fell and the dog was able to push the werewolf straight into the bog where he drowned. And Grady was very sad that his new friend had to die like that. It's pretty sad, really, to lose a friend over a werewolf curse. And that's pretty much it for this story. But there'll be plenty more stories where that came from, so stay tuned. And if you can, please subscribe to this and any other videos from previous books I have reviewed myself. Have a scary day, folks. Justin out.